What's going on, Nick? How are you doing today?
Doing good, man. Doing well. I cannot wait to get this going, man. Super excited.
All right. Yeah, me too. Me too. So, everybody, welcome to the first episode of the On Deck Circle with Nick and Tango. If you don't know, I am Tango. And Nick, why don't you introduce yourself?
My name is Nick012. Some of you guys may know me, some of you guys may not. Big time MLB The Show player, and can't wait to see the new game coming out soon.
Yes, me either. I think we're all getting very excited now that we finally have some news and SDS is finally, starting to put out content and stuff. The big build up for MLB The Show 23 has started, so we're all ready for that. So yeah, again, I am Tango 85. If you don't know me already from YouTube, Twitch, all that kind of stuff, but you'll catch our links all down in the descriptions below, and check us out on our other platforms as well. So we'll just start off with, it's been almost 2 weeks now since I think they showed us that Jazz Chisholm,
I believe it was on January 30th
January
for
30th. So
Jazz.
what's the
Yep.
11th today, something like that. So
Almost
yeah,
2 weeks.
almost 2 weeks since they dropped the main cover, I guess you would call it, Jazz Chisholm. So yeah, let's just start off, Nick. Jazz Chisholm. What do you think about that?
Jazz Chisholm, I like that he's on the cover. He's fun, he's electric, he appeals to the younger crowd who play MLB The Show. Um, like I said, he's got that swag on the field. I hate using that word, but it's true. Um, like he's just fun to watch. And I've definitely tuned into a lot of Marlins games over the past couple years because of him. And I do think he is going to bring more excitement to the game, especially with like the Euro step and everything like that. And that's definitely going to be a baseball turn on, if you will, for people to watch Jazz Chisholm and everything, and just Major League Baseball in general.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree. He was so when you were predicting who you thought was going to be on the cover, um, like who did you think they were going to have for the cover?
Honestly, I thought it was going to be J Rod, just because he had a phenomenal rookie season. There was a lot of hype around him still. I understood why they went with Jazz, but J Rod also would have been a pretty solid option. What did you think? Who did you think? Was it also J Rod or
It was also J Rod. I think
yeah?
everything I saw on Twitter, everybody was saying, and I think we all were in agreement that J Rod, seemed to be sort of the perfect player you would put on. Just after the season he had, he kind of, you know, more hardcore baseball fans kind of knew who he was going into the season, but as the season went on, everybody who was watching just like was enamored by that kid by the end of the year. And obviously, I mean, he's going to be a great candidate to be on the cover for years to come. So I definitely think Jazz was a great choice. Same thing as you said, just super exciting young player. Um, lots of charisma and just has that look, that, youthful look at, they all talk about let the kids play and stuff like that. I think he's kind of one of those players that really embodies that. So I'm excited. Did you get a chance to use his the 99 Tops Now cover boy card that they put in MLB 22?
I've had a I've had a couple ABs with him, but he hasn't been the best for me. I've hit maybe two home runs in the moonshot event and everything. I don't know. I was a lot better with his 90 overall face of the franchise card. He hasn't really showed out for me all that much, but he has a very fun swing in the game, I will say.
Yeah, that face of the franchise card I think was my starting second baseman for the first like month and a half of the season, because that card raked. I only really played with him in that one game when I did the debut video, and he hit a home run for me, so I was pretty stoked about that. Because we all know how debut videos go on YouTube. Usually, you just go 0 for 4.
Yep. 0 for
Make
4 with three strikeouts
Yeah,
for the most part.
classic. Yeah, and then SDS went and they did something kind of crazy and big for them. Instead of having a feature premiere or just putting it on some sort of social media, they got Derek Jeter to go. He was on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, one of the biggest late night talk shows there is, and announced that he is going to be on the cover of the collector's edition for MLB The Show 23. So thoughts on that, Nick?
I thought it was an amazing execution how they did it, bringing him on the show. Um, like I love that reveal. I just hate that it happened so late at night because I wasn't able to, record a video or anything like that. I had to do it the next morning before work. But Derek Jeter back in the game, dude. I love it. He appeals to a little bit of the older generation, so it's kind of like a mix of between Jazz and Jeter. For people who are going to be buying the game and everything. I really like it. He hasn't been back in the show since he retired. So it's been a long time coming to have Jeter back in 23. So
Yeah, I started playing MLB The Show in 17. And I think he was, what was his last year? 16, 15,
I think it was 2014.
14? Yeah, so I've never played an MLB The Show with Derek Jeter in it. So, and you know what? I've never been necessarily a Derek Jeter. I'm just not a Yankees fan. I know I'm wearing a Phillies hat right now, but I'm a Blue Jays fan. We're both from Canada, although you're like the worst Blue Jays fan in Canada. I'm calling you out. I'm just going to do it.
Just call me a negative Blue Jays fan.
But, I mean, I know what Derek Jeter means to the sport of baseball. And he's, I had some conversations with other people, and I was saying, the only legend that is worthy of being on the cover is going to be Derek Jeter. So if there's a legend on the cover, it's going to be him. So, I mean, I'm super excited for it. Mm-hmm. It's, I think, going to bring, just a lot more eyes onto the game, a lot more players, maybe, a little bit more of that older crowd coming back to kind of, somebody who hasn't played a baseball video game in, 5-10 years says, oh, Derek Jeter's on the cover, like I want to try this one, right? It's like 2K putting Jordan on the cover a couple years ago. Kids who hadn't played it and were a little bit older, sort of in my age range, you see Michael Jordan, you're like, oh man, like this will be sweet, can play with Michael Jordan. So it's going to be really exciting. It's gonna be interesting to see what kind of cards he gets this year, but I mean, with what they did last year with retro finest and all that, he's going to get some juiced up cards for sure.
Yeah, I think for Derek Jeter personally, I know a lot of people compared him to being like a Craig Biggio 2.0 in the show. Having low power but playing way above the attributes. I think that's what Derek Jeter is going to be exactly like in the game.
If he's got a good swing though, like Craig Biggio, some people. You see some guys play with him, and they just rake with them. So, I'm
not one of those people.
I'm me either. I've never really used them much, but I've definitely seen guys use them in their videos and streams and stuff, and just smack the ball. So, either way, I mean, it's just gonna be fun for even things like all-time teams and stuff like that. Having a guy like Derek Jeter in the game, it's gonna be. It's going to be big, really big for this year. So going to that, obviously with, dropping all the covers and everything like that, pre-orders went up on Monday. And then so they let us know all the different sort of versions. Have you pre-ordered yet?
I have not pre-ordered yet. I usually don't pre-order the game until like maybe a week or two before early access. But I will be getting the digital deluxe, although I would really like to get the collector edition as well. But, I just don't have the cash for both. Unfortunately, it's a lot more expensive in Canada. And, my PlayStation, I think, is only digital. So I would be able to get the game anyway. So,
yeah. I'm probably going to do the same digital deluxe. That's what I've been doing the last few years. I do have the disc version of the PS5. But I just like it has more Diamond Dynasty goods that you get with the digital deluxe. I mean, I think they should just somehow, like, if you could maybe even just sell that hat, I think you'd be able to. I think people would buy a digital deluxe at that, 100 US, 130 Canadian dollars, and still buy the hat on top of it for, another 30, 40 bucks or whatever. But yeah, so just what I have here is just kind of the different versions for anybody who hasn't seen yet. So you have the last gen and current gen standard editions. You don't really get much of those 5K stubs with the last gen, 5 show packs, 10K stubs, and you get the dual entitlement, which means you also get a digital copy if you buy it for PS5 or Xbox Series X. But neither of those get you the early access, which I think, a lot of, I think we're both really into that, and a lot of the guys that we know.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's only 4 days, but I think it's totally worth
I,
it.
I mean, honestly, I think 4 days makes all the difference because you get more eyes on the game, early access, and you get more eyes on your own content early on, everything too. So like, it's definitely an advantage.
Yeah, and you also get to there's always good things and bad things about the 4 days. Sometimes you get the early bugs that they need to work out. But I
Oh
mean,
yeah, that's true. The
who doesn't
servers
want
and
to play the
everything.
game like as soon as possible? Like when it's especially
Yeah.
when it's a game like this that you and I and many others that we know, this is the main game that we play throughout the year. So
Hmm.
obviously something that we're looking forward to for a long time. So yeah, they have the digital deluxe PS4, PS5, both Xboxes, and the Nintendo Switch for 100 American, which I think is 129 Canadian. I think is what it is on the
Somewhere
PlayStation
around there,
Store.
yeah.
So you get the Captain's Choice pack, which is very interesting. I'm very intrigued to see what cards we get in there. There's a lot of speculation for other potential captain players, guys like Adrian Beltre, David Wright. I don't know. Who else do you think might be in that pack, Nick? Who would you want to see in that pack?
I would love to see Adrian Beltre, David Wright. Obviously, Derek Jeter's probably going to be in that pack too. They're probably, if I had to guess, they're probably all going to be around 88 overall cards to start off the year, because that's usually what they do, especially with the pre-order choice packs. Another captain, I can't really. Jason Veritek is another one that I would really love to see, and that people have been talking about on Twitter and in Twitch chats and everything. I mean, Jason Veritek isn't like a big time household name like the other guys who would be in the pack, but it'd be a brand new legend. It'd be a very good way to market, the captain's pack and everything like that. So I think Jason Veritek. And the last option, I'm not really familiar with captains on MLB teams because it's not really that much of a thing
Yeah,
anymore.
it's
But I
not
could see
like
them maybe
hockey
doing
or
Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge. Yeah, the one thing with Judge though is like I just feel like he's probably going into the year going to be number one or two highest overall live series guys. So it seems
That's
weird
right.
to kind of give
Yeah.
him a diamond card that's not going to be as good as that because his live series card would be better than whatever you would get in the Captain's Choice back. But again, it's also a way to get people to be able to use an Aaron Judge card, day one right out of the gate. So
Yeah, especially since he is probably going to be one of the higher overall cards, like you said, and he's probably going to be damn expensive.
like I can't lie, every year that they put Griffey in some sort of pack at the beginning of the year, I always take Griffey. It's Griffey or
Yeah.
whoever like the new person in the game is, but generally like I'm
Yeah, of
I'm
course.
taking Ken Griffey Jr. out of those packs. So yeah, that they have another. It just says one choice pack, which they haven't specified what that's going to be just yet. So who knows? Could be anything. Special uniform choice pack, 5 gold choice packs, 20 show packs. Ball player. You get the double daily rewards, cover athlete bat skin, and then some stubs. And then with the captain's edition, get most of those things, a little bit less on the packs and stubs. But then you also obviously get the physical, the steel book, as well as that hat. I don't have a picture of the hat to show us, but you've seen it. What do you think of this year's hat?
I like the hat quite a bit. I think honestly, if SDS did sell the hat on the side away from the collector's edition, I think they would make bank, because I know there are a lot of people who would love to have the collector's edition just for the hat, but can't get it because they'd have to get the game all over again, and it's just that more expensive. So I think if SDS put the hat for sale on the side, I think people would get it. I personally would get it. But I've also heard, I love the colors and everything like that, but a bunch of people have told me that if it has something to do with like the 2 or like anything Derek Jeter on the hat, that they wouldn't get it. I personally would still do it because, being a big fan of MLB The Show and everything like that. But that's just what I've heard from a couple different people,
Like
they wouldn't get the hat if it had anything to do with Derek Jeter. I'm like,
I don't think, like, just from looking at it, I don't think it has anything really to do with
yeah,
Derek Jeter.
I don't
It's
think
like
so. I just think it's a generic MLB
it
hat.
looks kind of like a beachy Miami theme. I think it's more of the going with the like sort of the picking the Jazz as opposed to
Yeah, it's more tailored towards him.
yeah. Have you ever purchased one of the MLB The Show versions with the hat before?
I never have.
Me either.
I bought the standard edition for MLB The Show 20. back during COVID and everything. It was like a month after the game actually released. And last year, I wanted to, but I don't think they had the hat last year.
No, they didn't do the hats last year.
Yeah.
So
Or else
it's
I
like
think I would have for sure.
kind of a big deal. Yeah, it looks like it's, you know, it's white. It's got kind of this baby blue brim with the logo.
Very nice hat, I will say.
You like it? To be honest, it's not my favorite. I think like some of the ones they did in the past, that black and gold one, I think for 17 was super sick. And then they did kind of a Cubs colored one. I think probably when Javi Baez was on the cover. Those are some of my favorites. This I actually would say is probably like, in my opinion, my least favorite one that they've put out. But you know, to each their own. I mean, I haven't seen it in person too. Sometimes you never know. You see it in person, it looks a little bit nicer, but just my opinion. I'm not saying it's ugly. It's just not my favorite.
No.
They got to do one in a, you know, do a Canadian edition with some sort of Blue Jays themed hat, and then I'll buy it for sure.
We talked about that like a week ago or something like that. I think that'd be awesome.
They got to put the regional Canadian cover back in MLB The Show. How sweet would it be to have an Alejandro Kirk MLB The Show cover that only we could get in Canada? I 100% agree. Right?
Yeah.
I would almost.
I'd love the Blue Jays a little bit more if that happened.
I'd almost consider actually buying the physical copy.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I mean, I'll probably pre-order it sometime soon. I'm not in a hurry. It doesn't really, you know, doesn't get you anything any faster if you pre-order it today, or if I did it on March 22nd. So yeah. So the regular release date, March 28th, and then you get 4 days early access when you pre-order either the Digital Deluxe or Captain's Edition, which is March 24th. So I think that's like a Friday night. So probably like Thursday at midnight Eastern would be when you'd be able to play it. But either way, it's like we're what, 6 weeks away. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
It's it seems like it was taking forever, and now, you know, this is always how it goes with the ramp up. As soon as we start getting information, it's just like things are going to start coming down the pipe very quickly, and it's going to be here before we know it. So we'll get into, you know, obviously the big announcement from SDS after the covers have come out is that Negro League baseball players have joined MLB The Show. They collaborated with, was it the president of the Negro League Baseball Museum? And Bob Kendrick. And then they put together what's going to be, you know, something pretty substantial for a video game. Like, it's kind of like something that goes beyond gaming. But yeah, you know, I'd love for you to just sort of lead us off with what you think about this edition.
Of course. I love the fact that they added the Negro League players to the game. I think it's about time. You know, Bob Kendrick, amazing dude. I've been following him and, you know, like his work for a long time, and I respect the heck out of him. You know, runs the NLBM Museum, of course. I believe they have a 5-year deal, so there's going to be 5 seasons of the storyline mode coming to the show. So I'm assuming that's going to be 8 to 10 different new Negro League players every single year up until 2027. You know, I'm very excited about this. Like you said, it goes beyond gaming. It's, you know, it's going to be educating us and teaching us about life and the history and everything that these Negro League players had to go through, talking about their careers and everything. And just, obviously there's a lot of amazing players that we don't know about, like John Donaldson. I did a lot of research on him after that SDS stream. Absolutely insane pitcher. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we don't know because we just haven't been educated. And I think that's the number one thing when it comes to the storyline game mode. I know that SDS is probably going to come out with different storyline stuff in the future regarding like different people's careers. And I think overall it's probably going to take over the whole moments tab in general. And I think it's just a very amazing thing for baseball, for MLB The Show, to educate younger people about what the Negro League players went through. And, you know, even myself, because I don't know everything about baseball, all the baseball players in the world, and I'd like to, because I like to know, I like to learn new things and, you know new stuff about these players and everything.
Yeah, that the feature premiere that they did there was really, It was really well done. Like
Hmm.
lots of feature premieres in the past, they always like show off some stuff and they talk about things and it's kind of like, okay, okay. And then there's like maybe a couple minutes at the end where you're like, all right, this is what I really was waiting for. And they kind of fill it for like 40 minutes. But, that was a lot more, you can really tell a lot more thought and effort was put into that.
Hmm.
And it really showed, obviously, Bob Kendrick was, super well spoken and like just like it was hard to I couldn't look away. I was just like really interested, and I've never done any sort of research on most of this stuff and gone back that far, and so it was very very, like you said, educating for me, and I think that's what it's going to be for a lot of people. I think he even mentioned it. It's just them opening the door and then giving us, it sort of plants these players and everything in our minds, and then maybe we go look them up on the internet. Say, oh, all these players or stadiums. You take a look and you're like, oh, well, I don't know anything about that. Like you said with John Donaldson, I did the same thing because I had no idea who that guy was. Never heard his name before. And then you
He
go
was an absolute unit.
look and it's 400 plus wins and 14 no hitters and you're just like, what? Like how is this not more celebrated or like more just kind of well known throughout baseball? But then you just see all the reasons why it's important for them to be doing this. So when we get into the players, obviously started off with the big name or the name that everybody's familiar with, Jackie Robinson, obviously because the huge crossover into the major leagues. And then besides Satchel Paige, like to be honest, I've never heard the names of any of these guys, but maybe that's my own fault, a little bit of my you know ignorance or whatever you want to call it, of like just not ever really taking the time to look into the
Mm.
history of the Negro Leagues. But I mean, the way they were talking them up, I mean, like I'm just excited to have
Mm.
some new players in the game, and get to learn a little bit of history and have some fun. So out of those, like, were you familiar with many of the names they had, the new players that are coming to the show?
The only names that I wasn't really familiar with were John Donaldson and Martin DeHigo. I never heard about them, but like I've actually like looked up the numbers and stuff for all the other guys like Jackie, Satchel Paige, um, Buck O'Neill. I love Buck O'Neill as well. Rube Foster. A lot of like some of the best Negro League players ever going to be introduced in this game, and I know there are a couple of them missing, like Josh Gibson, Cool Papa Bell, um, Oscar Charles. I think that's what his name is. Yes, Oscar Charleston. I think they're probably going to be introducing them next year, if I had to guess. But there's lots of big time Negro League legends out there that they're going to be adding to the game in the next 5 years. And yeah, like you said, like it's see, like I think it's definitely all about education and stuff like that. And I looked it all up because I heard about Satchel Paige. I read a book about him, and I was interested in the Negro Leagues and who else was a superstar over there. So I just decided to go on my computer and learn about it one night a couple years ago, and boom, bunch of superstars that we just never knew about. And I think this whole storylines thing is definitely going to shed a light on that. And I think it's important, for baseball in general.
Yeah, absolutely. It just made me want to make a trip down and visit the museum because I think, like,
Yeah, I'm going with the show noob someday.
do it. Then you can catch a Royals game while you're down there too.
Yeah, I mean, come with, man.
Maybe I'll drive down or something.
That'd be
Uh,
awesome.
no, that'd be crazy. Go there. Obviously, I'd love to go to Cooperstown too one day, but
Hmm.
the National Baseball Hall of Fame is kind of a weird. I think it's in a weird place
Yeah,
right now.
I'd much rather go to the
That's a whole.
NLBM
That's a
and
whole.
meet
That's a
and
whole other
meet Bob
podcast.
Kendrick.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
I would probably cry because I've looked up to him for many years, ever since I got back into watching baseball and everything like that. So I just love that man. He's very well spoken. He's passionate about, what he believes in and everything. And I think that's what everybody in the world should have. And, Bob Kendrick is that inspiration. As I say, as I start to tear up a little bit, I just love that man.
Hey man, no, that's good. That's good. Don't be ashamed. Yeah, it's gonna be really cool. I really hope that it really well. Sorry, let me just rephrase that. It looks like from what we saw on Thursday that they have put a lot of effort into this, and it's going to be a pretty big focus and part of the game this year. And I just hope that it translates as well to sort of the gameplay experience as what they've shown us so far. It's got a lot of potential to do really well, and hopefully it's something that can span a long length of the game cycle as well, like something they can keep maybe adding to. I mean, I don't know what their plans are for this year. It would just be kind of, I don't know, unfortunate if it was something you could kind of play through in the first week or two, and then I don't think it's going to be that way. I think they've definitely have plans for it to last a long time, but sometimes you see with new modes in the show or whatever, it's exciting and something new and fun, and you can play it for a little bit, but the playability doesn't last really super long.
Like mini seasons, for example.
Like mini seasons. So yeah, I mean, that's mini seasons, March to October when they first introduced that, stuff like that. But I think just with the history behind this, there's a whole lot that they can do with it. They're sort of limited to these specific 8 people, but I mean, even with that, that's how many years of baseball played between 8 guys. 8 times 15 to 20 years or something. Plus each. I think John Donaldson pitched for 30 years or something like that. So that's hundreds of years of baseball to sort of pick and choose from, and give us situations to play and things like that, and stories for us to go through. So yeah, with all this comes 6 new stadiums as well, which is pretty cool. We've had pretty much same stadium list for the last, I don't know, since I started playing the show, basically. I don't think any new stadiums have really been added, maybe 1 or 2 a year they kind of throw in there. So that's exciting. I always love playing in new stadiums and stuff. I know everybody's gonna say, well, hopefully they play well online or whatever. I don't really care. To be honest, I've never really cared about that. I like playing in regular MLB stadiums. I will be that dude who's playing in Rogers Center online in ranked seasons. Somebody else is probably complaining about it, but I don't care. I would just play baseball video games to have fun, not to prove anything to anybody. So
yeah, not to please people either.
Yeah,
I understand that.
I was in 2021. Well, MLB 20 and 21, the amount of times I played at Ship It Stadium was just beyond insane, to the point that it made me just not even want to play online, because I just was always going to play at Ship It, and it was just kind of, I don't know. So I'm just glad that there's just a few more options for us to play in. So just always, it's always good. More content is good.
Of course, man. I'm super stoked. I can't wait. I think, which one would be my favorite? I'm probably going to try out the Busch Stadium one first. Probably give that one a go. But, I mean, honestly, all of the ballparks that they added, I think they all look pretty good. They added Comiskey Park. They added Southside Park. Yulebach Field. Another version of Forbes as well, and Haledale Park. So I believe those are the 6 fields that they added to the game. I can't believe I got that right off the rip, because I couldn't even do that when I was recording my YouTube short.
That's why I just took the clip from the stream and just posted that straight on my.
Yeah, I
didn't even bother.
For my TikTok and my YouTube clips, I tried to memorized, but I just couldn't. It was so hard.
Well,
Um,
for my notes here, I like typed out all the players that were getting, but I didn't type out all the stadiums for some reason. Stupid.
yeah, see, I knew the stadiums because I recited them so many times.
Well, there you go.
Or at least have an idea.
That's good. It's good.
Definitely. But nevertheless, I'm excited. Super stoked.
Yeah, it's gonna be really fun. Like, and I mean, they look great. Like everything that we've seen looks good so far. So, yeah. So as far as storylines season 1. So they said that season 1 is basically MLB The Show 23 is season 1. So season 1 kind of was, I think, confusing people at first, thinking, like how they do programs and stuff in Diamond Dynasty, that maybe you'd get like multiple seasons within this game cycle. But it looks like just every game is going to be a different season. So they'll probably do five seasons unless they can renew that contract and then continue it after that. But storylines, like, what are you looking for as far as storylines goes?
Storylines, what I'm thinking, well, I think it's gonna be something kind of like WWE Showcase, what they've done in the 2K games, like mixed with the storytelling of Bob Kendrick. So what I think it is gonna be, we got 8 new players in the game, so all 8 players, we're gonna go through their lives and their careers and everything like that over the case of the storyline. So like I think throughout the storyline, we're going to play like specific moments. We'll have like specific missions to do. And I definitely think it's going to take a lot longer than people think because, like you said, they all have careers like 15, 20 years long. And I do think they're not going to all drop it all at the same time. I think they're going to prolong it so that, the storylines mode is still fun to play after a little while and everything like that. And to keep educating people as you go through MLB The Show 23. But I think that's probably what they're going to do with all 8 of the new cards in the game. Well, 7 of the new cards in the game. Jackie Robinson already being in the show the past couple of years.
Yeah, that's kind of my hope too. And yeah, I hope they don't just give it all at once. And like, there's no way they would. Like, you can't do that. I mean, I don't think so anyway. But yeah, just make it so... something that, I really hope it's something that's like, with some of those, like I played a little bit of 2K, WWE 2K back in the day. And like those showcases are, you just get sucked into them, right? Like you start off, you play a couple matches or whatever, and you're just like, okay, you kind of know where it's going to go, but you're like, I got to keep going. I want to keep going. I want to get to, be the WWE champion or whatever. So I hope they have found a way to, make it like really captivating, and I think they have. It's again, everything they've shown us, like I think it's drawn a lot of people in. There's always going to be idiot haters that are going to just be there to hate, but who cares about them?
We blocked them out.
Yeah, we blocked them out. They're not important. They're whatever. Some 10-year-old kid who just thinks he's funny is not important. But yeah, I'm excited. Something new, and again, like something educating. Like it's a lot different than playing let's say something like some of the moments and stuff that they have that are like, okay, we're all really familiar with lots of the moments that you play in MLB The Show because they're usually from like the past couple of years or something. Like how many times have we played Ken Griffey Sr. and Ken Griffey Jr. hit back-to-back home runs? It seems like every single year those moments somehow are in the game, which, I'm a huge fan of Ken Griffey Jr. So like, I'm always going to play those, and I always play like every moment they have, but it gets a little repetitive. So to have something that's completely brand new as far as like a story that really like most of the fan base isn't going to be very familiar with, I don't think. And again, circling back to just the whole education point of it, you get to learn a lot. And if they can, make it really, entertaining, captivating, and get you to keep playing it and want to get to the end of the story, and then it's going to be interesting to see how it all sort of integrates within the game itself. If I can assume that the better you do or the further you get in these stories, maybe you get obviously different rewards and players, cards, and uniforms, things like that, which are it's all going to be things that are new for the game. So once they finally let us, use uniforms that you can unlock, that was a big thing. So, nothing was worse than MLB 18 where you could had to buy all these uniforms that you couldn't use at all. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm like, I just hope it feels like enough, I guess. Like that's, there's always that you always want people to like want more, leave them wanting more. But at the same time, like, I think it's gotta sort of like, I think everybody has pretty high expectations now after Thursday. So that's kind of can be the problem I find with MLB The Show, is that everybody gets their expectations really, really high up. And then like we all like, nothing can ever sort of meet these crazy expectations that some of us put on this game sometimes. But
at the same time, though, I wouldn't be surprised, if Bob Kendrick just comes up with a great idea how to like not function it, but kind of like structure it.
Yeah.
In a sense, you know what I mean? Like I think he's gonna be super important to it, not just with the storytelling and everything, but like how it's actually done.
Well, I mean, you can tell just from Ramon at the end of the stream, how much is going into this, just like on like personal level for people, and sort of the emotion that's going behind it, and how much care and effort like to do all these players justice and stuff. So I do think they're gonna do a good job of it. I don't see it being something that is a miss.
It's not going to be like mini seasons. I hate that mode.
All they had to do was give us a player reward every season. That's like all you really had to do to change it. Maybe shorten the season by like 5 to 10 games, and then just give us a new reward at the end of every one of them.
The one thing I will say that's good about mini seasons is the packs. The packs and the stubs and the XP that you get along with it, especially whenever you're hurting for it, like at the beginning of the year, middle of the year, whatever. Even like if you're gonna redo your NMS account or something like that, do an alt account, like that's cool. But like for the people who play it year round, add one card, and shorten the season by a couple games, and you're good.
Because we got what? Evan Longoria and then Johnny Damon. And we got Willie Adames, right? So Willie
Adames, that's 3.
3 throughout what, like nine seasons or whatever that they did, 8 or 9.
11 at this point.
Wow, yeah, I'm not really counting the last 2, but and then there was that one where you could do the really easy 10-run thing to get the one choice pack, which was kind of nice.
Oh, I never did that.
Oh, you didn't do that? I did that probably like 40 times.
I remember you telling me about that, actually.
It's free stubs.
Same with that mystery map, too.
If there's anything... I did that a few times, but that gets kind of boring.
I did that like 50 times.
There you go. You know what? I will say this. This was like the easiest year ever to get stubs, so...
Oh, absolutely.
Whatever.
With the events and everything, too, the rewind packs, but we're not going to get into that because... We'll save that for another episode.
Yeah, we should still do like a kind of our review of MLB 22.
Yeah, of course.
Because there's lots of things to talk about for that game. So the last thing they finished off the stream with was they gave us a very kind of short clip of a Jackie Robinson moment. So watching that, what takeaways from the gameplay that we saw?
I know a lot of people are hoping the gameplay is going to be improved this year. I'm one of those people. I know a lot of people just don't care. Like, they're going to play the game regardless. Tango.
I'll never not play this game.
I mean, honestly, I'm still going to play the game regardless if the hitting is bad like it was last year. But I do think, even if they couldn't fix the hitting altogether, I noticed when Jackie Robinson got the hit up the middle, that he kind of like jerked his body back a little bit with the late swing. So I kind of like that animation too. So like I kind of think it matches it in a way. Like if they can't fix the hitting entirely, I think they're gonna have like different animations to match it to like make it more realistic. Kind of. That's my takeaway from the gameplay. The graphics look really, really awesome. Especially on next gen, they look great. And the PCI looked different. Well, the hitting window altogether was just different in general, but I don't think PCI is going to change at all. I still think you're going to be able to customize it however you want. And yeah, I'd say it looks pretty solid. I just need that tech test to test it out for myself.
Yeah, I heard a few people say that they thought the PCI looked different itself, but I don't think it really did. I think they were just whatever settings they had it on.
I think it was just the design of the PCI
Yeah,
personally.
because like
Yeah.
people always laugh at my stuff and they think I'm playing on like Super Rookie because I only use outer PCI. That's all I use.
Yeah.
I like to have the most giant PCI possible, and that's it. I don't have anything in the
Yeah.
middle. I don't have any inner PCI. So even when I'm playing on Hall of Fame, it's still a pretty big looking PCI.
Yeah.
That's just how I like to play. But people always make fun of me on the internet for it. Like, oh, you play
I've never noticed that.
yeah, if you ever look like, oh, when I play a game that's actually like on Rookie, it's like the PCI is like the whole screen, it feels like. But yeah, the PCI, I thought the PCI feedback screen was kind of cool that they changed that. I mean, it's like the same but different, just a little bit updated. I didn't pick out that animation thing that you did, so I'll have to go rewatch that and take a closer
Yeah.
look at it. I mean, yeah, I mean, the game looks really nice. It makes me really want to upgrade my monitor. I only have like a 1080p whatever monitor, so I gotta get like a good one, something that
Upgrades coming.
upgrades, but expensive upgrades.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm just, oh man, it only means that things like a gameplay trailer and stuff is going to be coming soon, and like I just
Can't
really
wait.
I just want
I
to see,
can't wait.
it's a tease, right? It did exactly what they intended it to do, and now I just want to see more. Just show me more, please. But
What do you think the next feature premiere is going to be? Any thoughts?
I don't know. They always do Diamond Dynasty last, so
Yeah, pretty
probably maybe something like animations or commentary upgrades. I feel like that's kind of like this one they
Okay.
kind of throw in there a second.
Okay.
What do you think?
I was thinking like Road to the Show maybe, because I know there's lots of people looking for Road to the Show stuff as well as franchise. But it's nice to see that they're, gonna upgrade some stuff over there. I don't play a lot of Road to the Show now, but I'd be interested to see what changes.
In any of the like the little info kind of things that they've put out, has it said anything about Road to the Show? I know they've mentioned stuff about, like
They did about franchise, but I
Yeah,
never saw
new-
anything about Road to the Show.
new stuff for like franchise postseason stuff, and some of the like new Diamond Dynasty reward wheels and stuff that we're going to be seeing.
We actually talked about this on stream today. Shout out Always Annoyed in my stream chat. She was talking about possibly Road to the Show having like a high school route and then going through college and then the minor system and then the major leagues. I think that'd be a major upgrade for Road to the Show. So shout out to her because I would actually really like that idea if they add that to the show. At least the college. At least college.
Did you play
career,
any
and then-
Road to the Show this year? In
I
22?
have not. I have not.
I only did to get XP
Yeah.
farming in the beginning of the year. Same with
See,
20.
if they did something
21.
like that, just to reel me in a little bit, I would. But I knew it was the same as last year. So
Oh, it's so easy. You do
Yeah.
those Road to the Show programs. Yeah, I don't really play it. I used to, but I don't know. I guess like when I play that stuff, I'm never like getting too in depth with it. I basically just like want to make my guy as good as possible and then like play for the Blue Jays and win a World Series. That's like my goal in those. Like I don't.
even though that doesn't happen, even in the game.
Hey,
I'm kidding.
at least we have won the World Series in our existence. Some other teams haven't.
That's true. That's true. A lot of teams haven't.
Maybe somebody new will this year. Who knows? That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, gameplay. I'm just excited to see more gameplay. Hopefully, I mean, I think we're going to start to see kind of more stuff soon. Sooner than later,
really
it's
hope
going to
so.
keep popping up. Yeah, and then so yeah, the next thing we're going to talk about coming up in March, World Baseball Classic. Now, what do you think? Do you think anything related to the WBC is going to end up in MLB The Show?
I'm really, really, really hoping that we're get something related to WBC. I'm not entirely sure. I would love it though. But there is the WBC baseball game. I'm not sure if you saw that. It's
Is
on
that like
PlayStation
a
Store.
99-cent game or whatever that people were
Yes,
talking about?
it's the 99-cent game. I
Did you
saw
buy
people
it?
streaming it earlier. No, I didn't buy it yet. I thought about it,
What's it
but
called? Do you remember what it's called?
WBC baseball something. I don't have my PlayStation on right now, so I can't really check. But I saw some people streaming it today and yesterday too. I didn't actually get to look in on what it looked like or anything. But I mean, there is that game. So I mean, that could interfere with SDS's plans of adding WBC content. I think it would be awesome, but you know, if not, if there's conflicts and stuff with like other games and you know, like whatever, I completely understand. I would, you know, I'm not going to be mad about it or whatever. You know, I'll just make my own WBC content.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be like cards or anything like that.
I wonder if they
It'd
would
just be
even
like a team build or
like
something.
if they would even be allowed to like what kind of deal you would have to have with like the WBC and stuff like that. Because like I don't know what the relationship is with the MLB and the tournament. Like I don't know how it all works, so I don't know.
I have no idea either. I'm just hopeful for some kind of WBC content. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It's fine.
It would be amazing.
Oh,
for
absolutely.
Sure. And like
absolutely.
I don't see it happening. I just don't think that any sort of deal is in place for that to happen. I think maybe they would love to. I'm sure they would love to and they would try to, but also the fact that the game drops 3 days after it ends, it's kind of like, you know, maybe they should just like make up some sort of like hometown hero series of cards or something that's, you know, has something to do with like, you know, whoever ends up being like the winning team or like the MVP or who plays really well could get some sort of card, have like some like Trout USA card or something. Maybe not with like the USA team jerseys and stuff, but even just like I'm sure you could just like you know, they have all the flags that you can put for your emblem in the game, right? Just put like some sort of cool USA flag in the background or a Dominican flag or Canadian flag. Something
like that.
And
they could do something,
you know, like
but it'd have to be, you know, a lot less specific.
Yeah.
Link to the.
Oh, I mean, like have you ever seen the kind of cards that like 2K and Madden do? Like they've got a billion cards for everything. So
I try not to pay attention to those games personally.
Fair enough. I don't pay much attention to them. It just seems like all the really good players have like 40 different versions and they're all like different.
Oh yeah, like I know with 2K. Like I do have a couple people in the community who tell me about 2K and stuff, and there's like 10 different versions of like a different card, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
If that was an MLB The Show thing, people would freak out because
I know people
like,
get all weirded out
recycling content and stuff.
When players get 299 overalls, it's like, wow, who cares? Like,
yeah.
The more cards, the better. Usually, I mean that's well, we can talk about that a day. All right, Nick. February 15th, which is in like 4 days, Wednesday, I believe.
4 days, Wednesday.
MLB The Show 23 Tech Test. It's coming.
Woo! I'm excited for this. I can't wait to see how it plays. I'm going to be doing a lot of friendlies with the chat and everything like that. I'll be playing lots of co-op. I believe it's going until February 21st. So we're going to have a solid week of tech test content to do. You know, it's going to give me a feel of how the game is going to play, what they need to fix in the next like 5 weeks after. So I'm super stoked. And you know, this is a chance for us content creators and streamers and stuff. You know, make some collabs. You know, just have some fun. Especially, you know, since everything with MLB The Show 22 is pretty stale at the moment. Like you're just trying to find new things to do on stream, especially like I stream like 5-6 times a week, and trying to find something to do is really, really hard every day.
Yep.
So like the whole tech test thing, I'm all for it. Can't wait to start with that. And big time collabs coming.
What day is today? Today's Saturday. I bet you we're going to get our trailer on like Monday.
Monday?
Well, because they last year we got the trailer before the tech test, right? Because we knew Joe Mauer and Morneau were going to be in the tech test.
Yes, we did. We did get it before the tech test.
So I feel like it's like Monday seems to be the day they like to do things. Like pre-orders was Monday. The Jazz Chisholm thing was on a Monday.
And then the featured premieres on Thursdays and stuff.
So
it's like a pattern.
It would make sense. I mean, or at least sometime before Wednesday. You think? Because I would guess they would want to like put a couple of those new players in the tech test usually. I mean, that's what they did last year, so it makes sense to want to do that again. Have you played like all of the, like, I forget, what did they used to call it? Like the beta, there wasn't even the beta. Like before last year, did you play in like the MLB 21 and like the pre?
Oh, no, I
versions?
never had the chance. No, I just played the tech test last year.
I don't even think, like, I played it a little bit, but it goes by so fast. If you miss like 2 days, then you're just like, all of a sudden it's like over, it feels like. Because they run like a different event every day, and it's like 2 day events, I think is what they ran last year, 1 or 2 days. But yeah, I mean,
something like that.
New game. Yeah, I don't know if they've mentioned anything. I'm assuming they're going to let us like stream and record it again like they did last year.
I hope so.
Hopefully they don't.
I hope so, because
that was actually
I probably won't stream it all that week.
a really funny part about it in the past, that people would just like, they're like, you can't stream this, and then you would just go on Twitch and like there'd be like 20 kids just getting banned for streaming it because they're dumb. People are dumb. They think they're like, oh, I'm going to be the one person that gets away with it. Like, no, you're not. Like, they have ways they'll find you.
I mean, if they don't let us stream it, I'll be pretty upset, because like that's content for a full week for me, and like collabs and stuff, and just things to do on stream. And honestly, like, they should allow everybody to stream this product, because it would just get their name out there a little bit more, that MLB 23 is coming. It would show people how the game is playing, especially if they improved a lot of things. And, just it's good for their publicity, I think.
Yeah,
to be able to allow us to stream this.
I think like if they did it, I don't see them going back after excuse me, after letting us last year. I don't.
I'd be shocked if they didn't.
Yeah, it wouldn't really make any sense, and it would just make people mad. That's really
100%.
Not what you want to do at this point in the year.
Especially when you're just, getting all this amazing stuff into the game, and then you just find out you can't play the tech test. I mean, I'd be upset by it, but like I wouldn't be like, oh, pissed off,
Oh, and let's just a PSA to everyone out there: if you're playing in the tech test, don't quit games. Just play the game. It is not about winning or losing. These games are not about winning or losing. There is zero reward for winning. Like, you're not any of the cards and stubs. They just give you everything for free. You can't transfer any of it over to the real game. So don't even bother playing. If you're going to quit games, I played so many games last year. Like almost every game I was getting like rage quits in like the BR and events and whatever in it. And it's like, why? Like, I'm just trying to play this new game. Like, I don't know. It makes no sense.
Maybe this is the time to go flawless if that still happens. Go flawless in the tech test. Don't go flawless anywhere else.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ever going flawless anywhere.
That's the definition of a Mickey Mouse flawless right there. Personally.
Yeah. Mickey Mouse flawless. Like the Dodgers in 2020. Except you know what? Good for the Dodgers. I'm a fan of them winning it in 2020. People call it Mickey Mouse. Again, another conversation for another day. Everybody had the same chance to do anything. And they almost didn't even, like, if any other team would have won, I think because it's the Dodgers is like the big thing. But I almost feel like if any other team would have won that year, people wouldn't. There would still be people that'd be like, oh, whatever. But
well, if it was the Astros or the Marlins or any of the other teams who got to the playoffs with a negative record, then yes, I probably would have said, oh, Mickey Mouse.
The Dodgers lost
because
20
games. Because the only reason
they
got to the playoffs was because of expanded playoffs and stuff like that. That's the only reason the Marlins were there, because I think they were 30-36 or something I don't know, something like that. They had a negative record going into that. at postseason. Same with the Astros.
Yeah.
But they won the AL West.
Well, I don't know. I think the Dodgers, I don't know. They had a really good chance they were going to win that year anyway with that team, but
yeah, of course. They got super team every year.
Not this year. They have like an okay team.
Yeah. I mean,
like if you look at the Padres compared to them this year,
the Padres are much better on paper than the Dodgers. But the Dodgers still have like their minor league system and everything. Obviously, they got rid of Cody Bellinger. Justin Turner's not there anymore. Trey Turner's not there anymore. They re-signed Kershaw though. It's not gonna be the same team, but like they're still gonna be able to compete.
They picked up JD Martinez and Bradley Zimmer.
Yeah, Bradley Zimmer. I don't really know anything about him. JD Martinez, he's a great hitter, but he's getting up there with age.
You know what? They'll do well.
They picked up David Peralta today. I don't know if you heard about that. Yeah, 6.5.
He's like the exact type of person that would do well for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but as far as, upcoming MLB The Show stuff, anything else you want to talk about, Nick?
I did have something.
What else is on your mind?
I forgot about it.
You forgot. Come on, Nick. Come prepared.
SDS, if you're listening to this podcast / watching, please, please, please add co-op friendlies for my sake. Thank you.
Oh my God. Do a whole stream, do a whole feature premiere on co-op and just show us how great it's going to be in 23.
Love that. Oh my God.
The whole
make my co-op tournament so much easier to do.
Co-op friendlies just only make sense. You're already
you'd be able to play against your friend. Obviously, you'd all have to be friends on PlayStation or Xbox,
the fact that you can, the fact that you can just already do just like play versus friends. And then you add co-op where you're playing with your friends, but obviously you would want to play with your friends against your other friends. It's a natural progression. I mean, I'm sure this year 22 was just the test for MLB The Show co-op and see how it goes. Do people like it? What do they like? Whatever, right? You want to find out, but man,
I think it's gonna be awesome.
Especially for co-op tournaments like that one you did. Just in general, co-op, make co-op even greater this year, because honestly I think co-op could just take over this game at some point.
I love the game mode too, and it's a lot of fun. You can collab with other streamers, you can play with your chat, get the community more involved. But without co-op friendlies, without co-op rewards, you're not going to be able to do it, because a lot of people like to be competitive when they play online. A lot of people like to just play for fun against each other. Sometimes I can't talk.
It's all good.
I think those are probably two of the biggest things that they should add to the game this year, because I love co-op. I love doing it. But if they don't do that this year, I'm probably not going to play it all that much, especially with the co-op friendlies. The co-op awards would be nice, but it would kind of take a backseat to the co-op friendlies thing, because that's the biggest thing for me.
Co-op friendlies. That's your number one request for MLB 23.
So you can do co-op leagues, you can do co-op tournaments a lot easier. You don't have to count points any other way. You don't have to try and match up with other co-op teams who are in the co-op tournament online. You just make my life a whole lot easier. And I think it would be a great thing, because I think that could kickstart something else within the MLB community. You could do what they do with the summer circuit, the fall circuit, that kind of stuff. They could do that, but co-op with friendlies.
That'd be intense.
Yeah. Some of the best teams in the world, some of the best players in the world teaming up all against each other. Get that idea, SDS?
Oh, I'm sure they want to.
Yeah.
It was it was kind of weird what happened with how many of those circuit tournaments do they do this year? 2, and then they just
the summer the summer and the fall circuits.
What are you doing, STS? Should be doing one a month. You could pull it off. Keep I don't know. This is for 23. Just keep it exciting. Keep it exciting. Keep doing these things. Don't. Well, hire us. Sure, I'd love that. That'd be amazing. I can't really move to San Diego, but I mean, if you got remote job that I could do, STS Ramon,
I'm flexible.
Brother out. I don't know what the number one thing I'd be looking for in 23 is. I'm sure I could figure that out if I put enough thought into it, but I think just like spread things out a little bit more content wise as far as Diamond Dynasty goes. I mean, you and I both are pretty much like 90% Diamond Dynasty players, so yeah, we'll have to have some guys on that know a little bit more about some of the other modes and what they're looking for. Maybe talk to our homie Show Noob about doing some franchise, ask him some franchise questions or something like that. But yeah, anything else to add today?
Nope. I got my co-op friendly stuff off my chest.
You got your co-op friendly stuff off your chest. All right. Well, listen to him, STS. Did you hear what he said? Co-op friendlies. Put him in. Put him in the game. If you don't have him in, you got 6 weeks. Put him in. Nobody from STS is going to be listening to this. Maybe they will. Send it to Ashley. All right. Hey, you have like a Twitch relationship with her. I've never been rated from Ashley Sanders. That's all I know. But I only streamed. I've streamed like 12 times on Twitch in the last like 6 months. So what do I know about Twitch?
Has it really been that much?
I don't know how much it's been.
Times.
I could figure it out, but not very much. Probably more than that, but not by much.
Yeah. I mean, still, that's pretty crazy to think about because I'll do like 12 streams every 2 weeks.
Yeah, you're hardcore, man.
Especially with the double streams, but that's not going to continue. I don't think.
No.
You know, just I'm going to need breaks, time to make other content and stuff like that. So, yeah, the Sunday night portion is probably going to have to get the boot.
Well, you've been doing a lot lately, man. So keep up the good work. We've all been working hard.
Appreciate you. You as well, sir.
I'm trying,
with the
man.
YouTube content.
I'm trying.
Doing well.
YouTube. So if you guys didn't know, guys and girls, didn't know already, don't follow us. You should. Nick Terrio 12 on twitch.tv/Nick Terrio 12.
On YouTube, TikTok.
Is it all just Nick at Nick Terrio 12 for everything?
All my socials on all my platforms, everything is Nick Terrio 12, except for my Instagram. It's Terrio Gaming 12 because my Nick Terrio 12 is actually my main Instagram account. And you guys can follow me on any of those. I don't know.
Like your personal one. Oh.
Yeah, my personal.
All the juicy stuff on his personal Instagram.
You know it.
Yeah, you can follow me on YouTube at Tango85, Twitter at Tango85_, and twitch.tv/Tango85. And then obviously the podcast, On Deck Circle Podcast, as you can see our Twitter in the little corner at On Deck Circle Pod. What else? We are on Twitch, On Deck Circle Podcast, YouTube, On Deck Circle Podcast as well, I believe is what our thing is. I can't even remember, and I made it. But it should be all those, and will be available on, it should be Spotify, Apple Music, Google Music, everything.
YouTube as well.
YouTube as well. If you want to see our faces, watch YouTube. If you want to listen while you're driving in your car, go somewhere else.
That's the way you said that.
All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. And yeah, the plan is to be bringing you, at least I'd say one episode a week, if not more, depending on, what happens with MLB The Show and baseball this year. So, yeah, have a good one, everyone.
Peace.
Peace.